ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Okay, so we'll start. So, myself Lakshmi, there are a few people who have joined today for the first time. So, welcome to these classes. So, basically, just a quick introduction I'll give you for those who have joined newly today. The name of these classes are Bharatiya Vidyas. So, there are a few knowledge systems. If you would have already seen in the list of topics, you will know that different branches like yoga, archery, maths, finance, and so on are there very much in our Indian culture. Indian texts are there to some extent. The gist of all that we'll be seeing in these sessions every Sunday. So that is the main objective of these sessions. So we just had an introductory session. I had sent the audio already on the group. Just a list of topics which we are going to cover. If anyone has not heard that audio, I will also reshare that audio again after today's class. You can just go through that in case you have not listened to the introductory session. It is nothing but this is a list of topics which we are going to cover and a gist of all that, so that you get at least, there should be no one who feels that I have not heard about this topic at all. It can be, right? If you have heard something for the first time, we might not know about that. So I've just given a gist of all those topics. In case someone has not listened to that, please do that. After today's class, I will also reshare that so you can listen to that in detail. Okay, and I will anyways be recording all these classes, and whatever material, in case I show you something during the class, I will also be sharing that on the group. So someone is not able to attend live, or maybe you attend live but still you want to have a look at that again, you can refer to that anytime. Okay, so we'll start. Because we have a mixed crowd, majorly I'm speaking in English because that is the common language which everyone knows. In case you want me to speak in some other language, you don't understand something, I will speak in that. Okay, so I'll just quickly show you my screen just to give you an idea of the topics. Can you see my screen? Is it visible? No, right?
No, ma'am. No.
No. Okay. Now I think it is okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this is just the list of topics. Quickly, I'm just browsing through. We will not waste time again on this. Yeah. So basically, Yogashastram. We will be starting with Yogashastram today. Yogashastram is nothing but yoga. Then the 4 Vedas, Dhanurveda, archery, 24 gurus as per Srimad Bhagavatam. You can listen to the introductory session in detail. I will share the link again. In that I have spoken in detail about what exactly this topic is. When we look into this topic, we will look at that in detail. So as per Srimad Bhagavata Puranam, what are the 24 gurus that are present in nature, whom Lord Dattatreya is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, or Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. How he looks at nature, 24 gurus whom he considers. Then about the Sanskrit knowledge, Sanskrit language, because whatever knowledge we have in our ancient scriptures or so, mostly everything is in Sanskrit. Next, origin of chess, the game of chess, and the Swastika Chihnam. Then gravity. Most of us, we are familiar with Newton's laws of motion or Newton's gravity, but we also have gravity that is there, which has been discovered by our own Indian scientists. Then geometry and Ganitam, maths, physics by Aryabhatta, ancient birds which are mentioned in few of our texts, one being the Ramayana, Panchatantra. Most of us were familiar with the Panchatantra stories that are there, but that also is originally a Sanskrit treatise. Then Sutras. Sutras are nothing but formulas that are there. That is sutras. So what kind of formulas, what different formulas do we use in our everyday lives? That is sutra. Atomic theory, Ramasetu that has been built. So even today you can see the Ramasetu and so on. So what is the story behind that? Then about Adi Shankaracharya and a few works of Adi Shankaracharya. Then Vriksha Ayurvedam. Ayurvedam, medical science. Vriksha mainly talking about different varieties of trees. Dasha Mahavidya, 64 kalas, art forms that have been mentioned. Shiva Sutras. Shiva Sutras are nothing but Maheshwara Sutras, or the different Sanskrit syllables that we know. That is called Shiva Sutras. Bharatnatyam, the Indian classical dance form. Garbha Upanishad. Upanishads are like how we have the Vedas, like that we have a science of study called the Upanishads. Garbha meaning womb. So when the child is there inside the mother's womb, what the child undergoes, what is the science behind that. For that also, today when we feel proud of our medical science being, it's expanding, it's growing. So what is mentioned in our own text, that we'll have a look in this in Garbha Upanishad. About Sri Rudram in praise of Lord Shiva. It is a Vedic mantra, but at the same time it has also got certain important features, interesting features. We'll have a look at that. Then some facts from the Ramayana and Mahabharata. We'll not delve deep into the story of Ramayana and Mahabharata. A few interesting aspects. Then human anatomy. Human anatomy and Garbha Upanishad is somewhat related. So basically the growth of a child, just as we study in science, a small baby, then it grows into a young lad, then a grown up, then an old man, and so on. That is human anatomy. Then the story of Shiva Tandava. Shiva, his famous dance form, Tandava Nrityam. What is the story behind that? Study of different chakras that are there. Our whole body has got different chakras, starting from our stomach till the head and so on. So the study of that. Then different forms of Ganesha. There are said to be 32 forms of Lord Ganesha. What are that? We'll see that in detail. Panchamahabhutam, 5 elements that are there. Sky, air, land, and so on, and the different Shiva temples that are there, representing each of the Panchamahabhuta sthala which are present in Bharatadesha. Then the sacred mountains of Bharata, like the Vindhyas, Himalayas, and so on. And finance in ancient India. Finance is nothing but Arthashastram, written by Chanakya. Okay, and many more is now. I could not find more topics, and at the same time I could not end the list also, because one or two topics while speaking, sometimes you feel that okay, this also can be dealt. So roughly I've mentioned a list of topics which we will cover. There will be a few plus minus also. Okay, so this is just a gist of the topics which we'll see. So today first we will start with Yogashastram. Okay, so I'll share my screen. Okay, is the list of topics clear to everyone? Is there anyone you have some doubt, you want to ask something?
No, it's all clear.
It's all clear. Anyone who has joined today for the first time, you want to ask something? No? Okay, now when nobody has any doubt, there is only two things. One is you understand everything or you don't understand anything. I hope it's not the second category.
No, we can understand.
You can understand. Okay, so we'll start. Yeah, so now always when I say you have a doubt or so, you need not ask. You can also share something. That is also there. And like if there one or two people you had also come with a few suggestions, why not include this topic? So that also I have included. I don't remember who had said what now, but that too, if you feel that it is an interesting topic, and if I know little about that, of course we can try to include that. So we can keep it open, though whatever little I know I am trying to share with all of you. Still, if anyone from your side you want to ask something, or you feel no, this is something I read, I found it interesting, all others should know about it. Surely, if I know little about that, we can consider that. So feel free, you can also share. Okay. So now we'll start with our first topic, that is Yogashastram. Now, all these topics that I have included, of course, I have not included in any order as such. I have just randomly included. So there is no like why this is the order of topics. It's nothing of that sort. It's just in random, whatever I felt it came to my mind, I've just put it in that list and included. So there is no chronology which we are following. Okay, yeah. So now first is Yogashastram. Now Yogashastram is nothing but yoga. Now, when you listen to this word yoga, can a few of you tell me what comes to your mind when you listen to the word yoga? Of course, in the screen I have written a lot of things. You forget about that. When we listen to the word yoga, what comes to your mind?
Different types of yogasanas.
Different types of yogasanas. Okay, what else?
It's a coordination between the soul and the body.
Soul and the body. Okay, what else?
Harmony between the mind and the body.
Harmony between mind and body. Okay. Srimati ji?
It's a way to connect with God. the divine
Way to
God.
connect with God. Okay. What else?
Meditation.
Sorry?
Gita.
Hmm? Bhagavad Gita.
Piece of
Okay. When you listen to the word yoga, someone said it can be Bhagavad Gita because all the 18 chapters are from some yoga that is there. Okay. Arjuna Vishada Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, and so on. Okay. Yoga. What else?
Surya Namaskar.
Surya Namaskaras. Okay. It is a union and so on. Okay. So various answers that are there. Now, someone said Surya Namaskara. Please note, Surya Namaskara, there are two things in Surya Namaskara. One is the Surya Namaskaras that we do, the 12 Namaskaras which you do as a part of Yogasana. And Surya Namaskara as per Vedas is different. That is called Aruna Prashnaha, which is chanted usually every Sunday, about 32 paragraphs that are there. So that is different. So don't get confused. Surya Namaskara in Vedic terms is called Aruna Prashnaha, which are mantras that are chanted to the Lord, and Namaskara is done after every mantra that is there. And second is the Surya Namaskara, which usually all of us do after chanting the 12 names of Lord Surya, you perform the Surya Namaskara. So that is different. Just for your knowledge, you can note down. So whenever you listen to this word yoga, it means someone said connecting with the divine, someone said connecting with the mind and soul, body, someone said Gita, because every chapter is named after some yoga that is there. So like this, there are varied answers, right? But now if I have a question saying that when you say to connect with the divine, or something with regards to the Gita or something of this sort, when I say connect with the divine, if there is someone who says that I don't believe in divine, does it mean that they cannot practice yoga then? If yoga is a way to connect with the divine, I don't believe in divine, I don't believe in God, then should I practice Gita? Should I practice yoga? Sorry. Or if I am doing, now there might be a few people, right? You would be practicing yoga all these years. But there can be someone, even one amongst us, who says that no, I don't believe in the divine. I don't believe in something called God, right? Still I am practicing yoga. Is there any answer for that? Srimati ji?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They can practice.
Okay.
Sometimes we go through some path.
Hmm.
We may not know what is the destination. But
Hmm.
that path will automatically lead us to that destination.
Correct. Good answer. Okay. So, basically, yoga, though it means to connect with the divine, let me clear one thing. Divine, maybe for all of us, now there are about more than 70 people here. We have a mixed group, or maybe if not here, we might come across people who say that maybe I don't believe in something called God, something called supreme, or something called divine. There can be people, right? We are not against them. Maybe I believe in God doesn't mean that you have to believe in that, right? Or maybe I believe in some philosophy doesn't mean that someone else has to believe in that. So it is open, we have a choice, we have freedom, whatever you want, you can do. I believe in something, so that doesn't mean I have a right to impose that on you. At the same time, you don't have any right to stop me, right? But the ultimate last line that is there is, nobody can decline that there is some supreme energy that is there. So when we say yoga, it means to connect with the divine, or maybe we try to soul, body, whatever you call it. It means to go somewhere high from wherever we are now to proceed higher, right? Now there are so many people here, everyone, there will not be a single one who has not practiced yoga, right? And now you have the recent yoga day also that is coming, so at least on that day we perform yoga, right? So yogasanas, this is what most of us are familiar with. So whenever we say divine, God, supreme, or whatever it is, yoga, the point why I am telling you this is, yoga is not limited, or maybe all the different studies that we see, different topics which we are going to see. Whenever we see supreme, divine, God, or whatever it is, there can be people of different beliefs who say that I don't believe. But then these texts are meant even for them. That is the last line. Because Yoga, it means to connect with something which is superior to us. Now, say for example, all of you have come here. Why have you come here? It's not that you don't know anything, right? Yogashastram, all of you know what is yoga, but still you have come to listen to me, saying that okay, maybe she might tell me something, she might know few things more, so maybe she is sharing that with me, or maybe if I listen to her, maybe I will recall what I already know, right? So why do all of you come here? Why are all the 70 people silent and only why I am speaking? Maybe in your mind you have that okay, something else she might tell, so I want to listen to that. Maybe there is something which I don't know, or rather than saying I don't know, maybe something which she tells I might recall at that time, things will be more clear. So that is the reason you come here. Or let me give you a more good example. We all work somewhere, we all have someone whom we report, right? Some seniors who are there. Why do we call them seniors? Or our own parents, our own teachers, why do we call them as senior? Because there is something which is more in that person which we don't have, right? So this yoga, when we say to connect with the divine that is there, it comes from, that means to divine, God, supreme, whatever you call it, it is something which is supreme, which I don't have in me. There is something more in that particular concept, or whatever you believe. We just call it through different names: divine, supreme, God, or you can, different gods that are there, you call them through different names: Shiva, Rama, Krishna, the goddess, Ganesha, and so on. Or it can be even anything, like those who practice meditation or so, you might just call it as, someone said, soul, and so on. So, or Brahman, it's just different names, but the last line that is there is something supreme. Okay, so yoga, so the point is, to this explanation, what I mean is, yoga is not limited, it's not a religious, though it is meant for religion or a spiritual way you can consider, it is mainly to calm us down. Now those who practice yoga, physical yoga, all of you have your own experiences, right? We always feel fresh. Nobody will say, no, after doing yoga I feel so tired. There is no one who says, maybe on the first day little our legs and hands will pain because you have never done that, so that might happen. But then beyond that, you always feel happy, right? Now yoga, when we say yoga, most of us, we are familiar with Hatha yoga. Hatha yoga, Hatha meaning physical asanas that we do. Though we call it commonly as yoga, it is actually the physical asanas which we do, that is Hatha yoga. That is just one form of yoga, but there are different categories of yoga. So now let's look at the screen, and why this Yogashastram is very, very important, and why this has been gifted to the world by India. Even today, worldwide you go, everyone is practicing yoga, right? In fact, you go outside, people are practicing yoga. Now, why should we say outside? We Indians also do that, right? Only thing is, we don't value that much. That's the only thing which puts us a bit down. So, Yogashastram, when we say, it is one of the 6 darshanas that are there. Now, does anyone know the name of all the other 6 darshanas? No?
Pranayama is one of them.
No. 6 darshanas. Correct. Nyaya.
Vedanta, Nyaya,
Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga,
Sankhya,
Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa. Correct. Now these are the 6 darshanas. Now what are these darshanas? Just to give you a gist of these darshanas. Darshanas are nothing but, we have the Vedas, 4 Vedas. We look at that in the next topic. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. Next comes Vedanta. Vedanta is nothing but that which comes towards the end of the Vedas, that is the Upanishads. Next you have 6 darshanas. 6 darshanas are nothing but philosophies. 6 different ways of philosophies. Out of that, philosophies, or you can say knowledge systems, they are 6 in all. One is Nyaya. Nyaya is nothing but law. We say Nyayam, right? I need Nyay when we say. That is nothing but law. Next is Vaisheshika. Vaisheshika, physics. Or you can say the study of atoms and so on, matter. Sankhya by Kapila Muni. Sankhya, now this Sankhya is different from the Sankhya of Gita to some extent. So Sankhya of Kapila Muni is little different. Sankhya. Next is Yoga. The 4th Darshana is Yoga. 5th is Purva Mimamsa, and next is Uttara Mimamsa. Purva Mimamsa is the practice, like most of us, we practice Purva Mimamsa, right? That is, we do different rituals and so on. We have a marriage ceremony in our house, there are certain rituals we have to follow. Or there is a small Griha Pravesha Puja, there are different rituals which we follow. That is a part of Purva Mimamsa. Uttara Mimamsa is nothing but Vedanta. Vedanta, they're saying that there is nothing, only mere philosophy, no rituals. Like there are a few people, right, who, like even now you have these, what do you call, maybe Brahma Vidya, or anyone is familiar with Brahma Vidya? You have attended those sessions also?
Yes.
So you see their ways of philosophy are little different,
It's
right?
different,
Yes.
yeah.
So there they will not tell you that you have to do this puja, you do this, do that. They don't tell you. It's a different way of maybe meditation, pranayama, and so on. So that is also ultimately the goal is now what is now all these 6 darshanas that are there. Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa. Ultimately, the goal is to make ourselves happy, right? Happy, or maybe to attain peace of mind and so on. Maybe you offer 2 flowers to the Lord, that makes you happy, or maybe you close your eyes and just be calm, that makes you happy, or maybe you just look at nature, that makes you happy. You do different things. Ultimate goal is to make you happy. But the ways are different. These are all different philosophies that have been told by Indian culture. So there are 6 in all: Sankhya, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga is the 4th one. 5th is Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. So now let us concentrate on Yogashastram. So basically these are nothing but different ways of philosophy. Just as now, if you have to reach a place, now say for example I live in Mumbai, if I say, to reach Mumbai now, I can come by train, I can come by flight, I can come by even road, even ship if you want, right? There are different ways. Ultimately the destination is going to be the same. This is your choice which way you want to choose. So like this, these darshanas or these different schools of philosophy or these knowledge systems, everything, they are just different ways. Ultimately the destination is going to be the same. Ultimately all of this is going to help us attain peace of mind only. Okay, so now let's focus on this Yogashastram. Okay, till here is everything clear? I hope everyone is understanding. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is always compared with Sankhya Yoga. It is one of the 6 schools of philosophy, darshana, and it is always combined with Sankhya. Now those who are familiar to some extent with Sankhya Yoga, that is chapter number 2 of the Gita, you will know wherein Krishna tells to concentrate one's mind, saying that know that this body is temporary, only soul is permanent, and so on. All this advice he gives to Arjuna, right? So somewhat even in Yoga Shastram, if you see, if you have attended those proper yoga lectures, you will know, right? Whenever you have those, they will tell you to sleep in Shavasana, and then the yoga instructor might at times tell you, okay, close your eyes, relax your ears. You can actually feel that relaxation. So what do you do there? You're not doing anything. Physically you're not doing. You're just lying down. Whatever the person is telling, we are just trying to experience that, right? So that is Sankhya, wherein we are not doing anything, we are just experiencing that. Same thing happens even when we meditate, or even when yogis meditate, they are just sitting still. Instead of sleeping, they will be sitting still. In their mind, they will not just think about anything. So what exactly is yoga is when you close your eyes and you should not think about anything. There should be no thoughts at all. But for common beings like you and me, it becomes very difficult, right? In fact, the minute we close our eyes, more thoughts come to our mind. Even now also, if you see, though I am speaking, now for you at least, you are just listening, right? In my case, though I am speaking and listening at the same time, my concentration has to be more. But still some of the other thoughts are running in my mind. Maybe after 11:30, what should I do? Or what should I eat today? Where should I go in the evening? Tomorrow is again Monday. But there are like this so many reasons, so many thoughts that are going on, right? Similarly, in all of your minds also, continuous thoughts are running. So though we say that, okay, 1 hour I'm going to listen to about Yoga Shastram or something someone is talking, I'm listening, still we cannot avoid those thoughts. Can you stop thoughts physically? Stop. Nothing should come to my mind. Go away. We can never do that. We can never stop our mind, right? So the point or the stage of yoga is whenever you close your eyes also, no thoughts should come to your mind at all. That doesn't mean that you go off to sleep. Most of us, we do that. You go to attend a yoga class. If your mind is not if you're not used to that, what we do is we go off to sleep. When they especially tell eyes close, ears close and all that, if you're not experts, if you're doing it for the first time or so, initially we might go to sleep. At the time of sleep, we don't know anything, right? No thoughts come to our mind. So sleep stage, but at the same time we have to be alert. This is nothing but yoga. Okay. So basically, Sankhya Yoga talks about different. Now we are not talking about Sankhya now, so let's not go deep into that. Yoga, one thing which it adds is Ishvara. Ishvara is nothing but God. That is what someone said, to connect with the divine. Because the word yoga, it has come from the dhatu. Dhatu is nothing but the verb in Sanskrit called yuja. Yuja meaning to connect. Connect with whom? Connect with the Supreme, connect with the divine, connect with God, or whatever it is. So all of us here, though I told that you might not believe in something or someone called God, but still no one can decline the fact that there is some supreme energy which is controlling the world, right? Because at least till date, let me use the word till date, because till date we have so many answers which are still unanswered. How come the sun rises every day in the east? Till date, we have never seen a day when the sun has not risen, right? Your grandfather also saw the sun rising in the east, your father also saw, you are also seeing, your children will also see. One fine day if it rises in the west, it will make breaking news, right? But it has never happened till date. Or one fine day, the sun has fallen down on the ground. Never happens. It stands there erect. Or the moon does the same thing. The tides, the waves in the ocean, they move about depending on the moonrise, right? High tide, low tide. Trees at the right time, every year, if you see, during the February or so, I'm talking about in general, all this Shad Ritu, the 6 seasons that take place, roughly in the month of February or so, the trees shed their leaves. Then in the spring season, it grows. Rainy season, they become green, full. Then slowly again they start, in the winter months again they start drying up, and so on. This is a continuous process. Who told the trees? Who's controlling the trees? There is something that is there. So like this, each and everything that you see around, everything till date cannot be answered by science, right? Or all the feelings and emotions that we have in us, who has created that, right? Now whenever I look at someone, or whenever you look at someone or something, you go to the market, you see something very attractive, immediately you feel, oh, I should buy that, I should have that. From where did this feeling come? Who gave you this feeling? Can science answer this? Science cannot answer this. Can logic answer this? Logic cannot answer this. But there is something, okay, someone has given me feelings. Whenever you look at a small child crying, you also feel like crying, right? You also feel, or you feel bad, you feel, why, what happened? Immediately a feeling of sorrow comes in. Or maybe you get some good results, you feel happy. From where that happiness came? So like this, I'm just giving you a few examples. Like this, there are many questions which are unanswered. And when you go deep into that, at that time only one answer which we get is, there's surely something, some supreme energy that is there, who has created us with all these emotions, all these feelings, and at the same time, there are many answers which are not fulfilled. So surely there is some nature, there is some energy which is ruling. That is the reason why the sun is rising every day, why the moon is rising every day, why the waves in the ocean are moving about here and there, why the trees are shedding their leaves, growing new leaves, and so on. So like this, there is some energy, some power that is there which is ruling over. This supreme energy is nothing but, we term it as God. Some people call it as Ishvara, some people call it as Supreme, some people call it as Divine, some people call it as Energy. Names are different, whatever you want you can call. So ultimately there is no one who says that there is no Supreme, there is no Divine, or there is no God, and so on. It's just that our ways of belief are different, our ways of worship are different. So basically yoga, it talks about, it helps in stressing this point that there is some supreme energy that is there, and yoga will help us to realize that. That is the reason why, very simple example is when you practice yoga, I told you, when the yoga instructor tells you relax your eyes, relax your ears, and so on, you can actually experience that, right? The yoga instructor does not come and touch your eyes, or you also don't touch your eyes, but still you feel that relaxation. Has anyone experienced this? When the yoga instructor tells you, yes. How come it happens?
Yes.
We experience, because there is some energy within us, right? So this itself is nothing but yoga. Yogashastram helps us to realize this energy mood. Okay. Now Sankhya Yoga and this Yogashastram, what is the difference? Sankhya Yoga is mere theory. This will happen, that will happen. Now if I'm like our class, you see, if I actually do yoga and show you, maybe you can relate. Or like a yoga instructor, when he tells you, you can relate to that, you can actually feel. And at that time you feel, yes, I had experience when the yoga instructor told relax your eyes, relax your ears, relax your nose. But now when you are saying, yes, I'm remembering that, but theoretically it becomes very difficult to understand. So Sankhya Yoga, Kapila Muni is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. He gives a theoretical explanation. Yogashastram just adds a bit more to that. It adds even some theory, some practical aspect to it, that is by Hatha Yoga, introduction of asanas, or different pranayama that we do, and so on. Okay, so mainly yoga helps us in attaining the divine. It is an astika darshana. Why astika darshana? Now, astika and nastika, again, though we say in common terms, astika, believers of God, nastika, non-believers of God. Again, we are not against anyone. It's personal belief. You want to believe, you believe, personal choice, right? Nastika darshana is Jainism and Buddhism. So mainly astika and nastika. Now, Jains and Buddhists, it's not that they don't believe in God. Buddhists do believe in Buddha. Jains have their own Jain monks, their own Tirthankars. It's not that they don't believe in God. They have their own God. But then astika and nastika, it literally means those who accept the authority of the Vedas, those who don't accept. So Yogashastram, and basically if you consider Sanatana Dharma and so on, except Jainism and Buddhism, the other practices accept the authority of the Vedas. Whereas Jainism and Buddhism, they do not accept the authority of their Vedas. They have their own ways of authority. That's the reason you see Jains. Now, mostly I don't think Buddhists very much you see in India. At least I have not come across much. But Jains usually we see, right? Their ways of practices are quite different. Maybe they'll walk barefoot or they'll observe fasts and so on. But at the same time, you see their dharma or the ways of practice, they are very much. Are there any Jains here? Anyone who follows Jain dharma? No? Okay. So you see the ways of practice or the way that they do, it's quite different. Whatever they do, and in fact they are very strict in that, right? From young children till elders or so. The rules that are mentioned in their books that are there, they follow that very strictly. So the astika and nastika, though commonly we say that believers of God and non-believers of God, the actual meaning is astika is those texts or those philosophies that accept the authority of the Vedas. Nastika darshan is those who do not accept. Okay, so Yogashastram is very much a part of our culture, Hinduism, so it must accept the authority of the Vedas. Therefore, it is but obvious an astika darshana. Okay, now yoga has come from the word yuja. It means to join, to attach. It means a union of two things. In the spiritual sense, originally Yogashastram is written by Patanjali Muni in the form of different sutras. Sutras is different formulas. And spiritually, it has been termed in Vedic literature, whereas Patanjali Muni gave a new outlook to it. That's how we have Hatha Yoga, Pranayama, and so on. And mainly, like someone said, to unite the body with the soul and so on. So basically, the human spirit with the divine spirit, unison that takes place, that is yoga. So meaning to connect our inner body with our outer body, right? Now you might have a doubt, right? Why there is so much of talks that are there with inner body, outer body? What is this inner soul, outer soul? Why so much people are focusing? Always remember one thing, if you think very deeply, only if your inner body, inner soul, only if your heart is pumping, only then you will live. Otherwise, there is no use of our external organs. In science, we study something, right, called internal organs and external organs. External organs are those organs you see with your eyes. Internal organs, they are there inside, you cannot see with your eyes. But you see, some problem in the internal organ takes place, we cannot live properly, right? But in fact, something from outside, external organs, maybe your hands, feet, face or so, if you get hurt little, maybe in a few days we will get cured easily. But some damage to our internal organs takes place, usually the situation gets serious or worse, right? It takes a lot of time for us to come out of that. So this itself shows the importance of something which is inside. Only thing is, just because we cannot see that through our naked eyes, we don't give that much importance, right? Be it our heart, be it our digestive system, excretory system, respiratory system, whatever it is. All these systems we cannot see with our eyes, but inside your body, all of us, we have studied human body. So you know there are so many, there's arteries, veins, this, that we see. We don't even know what is there inside our body, but so much is there, right? There is hands, feet, fingers, nails, we can see stomach. We can see with our hands, we feel only, oh, this is what is my body. My hand should be good, my leg should be good. We try to beautify our body from outside, right? My hair should be this, hair should be that. My face should be nice, I should be slim from outside. What about your internal body? If something happens inside, there is no use of your outside beauty, right? So the thing is, why I'm telling you this is, why Yogashastram or why did all our philosophies focus a lot on our internal body or on something which is there inside is that if the inside is not strong, there is no use of the outside. What is the use of physical body when from inside maybe you have some intestine failure, liver failure, organ failure, something from inside? What is the use of having a good physical body? You cannot get up from your bed. What is the use? Similarly, if you see, when a person dies, what happens? The soul comes out, right? What happens exactly? Heart stops pumping. We say soul comes out, soul goes away, heart stops pumping. That means from inside. 1 second it takes for the heart, or 30 seconds, whatever it is, heart stops pumping, life is gone, the person is dead. At that time, hands, ears, nose, legs, nothing will work, everything has stopped. No use of the external body. So therefore, the soul inside is very, very important. And at that time, if you are focusing a lot of on your external body also, just as Shankaracharya, he mentions in his Bhajagovindam, a philosophical text written by Adi Shankaracharya, he says that the person, when a person dies, all of us also we use the same thing, right? I use this example so many times. Person dies, minute a person dies, maybe it will be our own close relationship, our own parents, children, whatever it is. We don't call the person by name also. We say body. When is the body going to be removed? When is the son coming? When is the daughter coming? Look at the body is there inside. We term the person as body. We don't even call the person by his name, right? All of us do the same thing, right? Why do we do that? When a soul goes away, when a person is dead, maybe the body is still there in front of us. It's not still taken away. But still we term it as a body. This itself shows the importance of one's body, saying that only till your inner soul, only till your internal organs, only till something which is there inside is present, you have importance. Otherwise, everything is waste. No use of external body. Now, does this mean that I should not take care of my internal organs? Does this mean that I should not take care of my external body? Should I not take care of my hands and legs? Of course, you should take care. But while taking care of our external organs, many times we forget what is there inside our body, what is there inside our soul, what is there inside. So therefore, all these darshanas that are there, why Yogashastram we have to study, or why is the first topic also Yogashastram? You should not feel that it's some boring philosophy, someone came and told study your soul, study your body. It is very, very logical. You think, now I give you a few examples, right? If you think, you would have got an answer for yourself. The minute a person dies, we term that person as a body. We don't even look at his limbs. Do we look? So you look at his physique, how good it is. He died. We don't say that when a person dies. Look at his arms, look at his legs. We don't say that. Soul is gone, person is gone. We don't even call him by his name. We say body, right? Or even when some from outside, if you are strong also, internal organs fail, no use. You cannot stand, you cannot do anything. So that is the reason why our philosophies and why all these different knowledge systems have focused a lot about inside the body. What happens inside our body, we have to take care a lot on that, and why people have been practicing. We must never term, just because today we don't see that much, but we feel that okay, I don't have so much time to think about all this. If we think deeply, we'll get answers. So why did our ancestors study this, or why has India gifted, why has Bharatiya Desha gifted this knowledge to the entire world? This is an answer to tell and to specify to the world that something which is there inside is very much important. It is very difficult, but at the same time it is very important, because and Bharata Desha was only country who realized the importance of that which is inside. From outside you can be strong, outside you can be very handsome, very beautiful. From inside, if you are not strong, there is no use, right? So that's the reason you say your mind should be strong. You should have good willpower. Now say for example, now I know about yoga, but if I don't have the will of no, today I don't feel like doing that, or no, I don't want to share it with anyone. If I don't have the will to share it with all of you, from inside if I don't feel, there is no use, right? So that way, so this is a reason why all of our philosophies, they focused a lot about what is inside the body, and this is a reason why Yogashastram and many other shastras talk about something like soul, or what is there inside our body. Okay, till here is everything clear? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next. Now what did Patanjali do in his works? He was the one. Now Yogashastram, if you see, now you read the line properly. He was the one who compiled all the information. Patanjali did not create yoga. He was not
There's no voice, ma'am.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
I think I lost it in between.
Now, now we can hear.
Okay. So mainly if you see Patanjali, he was the one who compiled all the information that was available on Yogashastram. So what exactly, when you mean that compiling, that means it was not that he had made something. He had not invented, he had not created something. Something which was already there, maybe in tits and bits, here and there it was there, someone told. Now this is because most of our information has been passed on through oral tradition. Some sage will come and tell something that has been told, and then someone just passed about, the shishya came and the disciple came, he passed on to his next. So there has been no proper recording anywhere. So therefore Patanjali felt that I should compile all this information, make a proper framework and put it so that people in future can study this Yogashastram nicely. So he was the one who compiled. So always, why I am saying is, you have to be very very careful when we read the words compile and to write something. Okay. So whenever we say, even Veda Vyasa for that matter, Vyasa, he has compiled the Vedas. When we say that, means the Vedas were already there. It was not that he invented something of his own. He just prepared, he put a proper framework, he categorized the Vedas into 4 parts, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, and he presented it to the world for easy understanding. Or even the Puranas for that matter, the 18 Puranas. So all the information was already there. It was there in a very rough format, proper segregation, proper framework was made by these people. So Patanjali also did the same thing. He has many creations. One of that is Yoga Darshanam, second is Mahabhashyam. Mahabhashyam is based on grammar, Sanskrit grammar, and Charaka Samhita. Charaka Samhita, Charaka, Sushruta, they are all propounders of Ayurveda. So Patanjali, he has written something with regards to Ayurveda. So Patanjali had also studied Ayurveda and he has written his thoughts on that. So that is Charaka Samhita. Now what exactly are the goals of Yoga Sutras? Ultimate goal is salvation or moksha. And because it is practical, there are different techniques. That is nothing but Hatha Yoga, different asanas, pranayama that we do, controlling our breath, inhalation, exhalation and so on. Ultimately the aim is to achieve mental peace. Now whenever you attend a yoga session and you come back, you should feel happy, right? Maybe now also, when 1 hour you are listening to me, after 1 hour you should feel satisfied or you should feel happy. If you are not feeling that, or it can be for all the everyday activities that we do, if you don't feel happy or maybe you feel sad or you feel stressed, there is no use of doing that thing, right? So similarly for yoga especially, it is to achieve mental peace and ultimately to move ahead. And mainly now all of you also, you would have seen, now to get detached from material world, all that is there, no doubt on that. But then in our everyday lives, how we can compare is, you yourself would have seen, those who practice yoga or a bit of these pranayama techniques, you will know that it increases focus and concentration. It makes our mind steady to some extent. Now obviously all this will come through personal experiences only. Each one of you will have your own experiences, but yoga mainly, that's the reason why I asked you, right, whenever the yoga instructor tells you to relax your organs, all of you said that yes, we do feel that relaxation. Why it happens? Because there is surely some energy that is there. Yoga has got its own powers of doing that, to set mental steadiness, that it does. So further, he's now, what exactly are Yoga Sutras? Now coming to the text, that is Yogashastram written by Patanjali Muni. Yoga Sutras is basically like the psychology that is there. Psychology of human beings, what exactly human beings should do. Now the text is divided into 4 parts. Samadhi Padaha. Samadhi Padaha. That means the aim of yoga. Now why aim has to be mentioned in the first instance? Now whenever we are doing something, now say for example out of this course also, if I say that okay, every Sunday this is so and so course I am going to conduct. If I don't tell you what I am going to teach in that, or if I am not going to tell you what exactly you will learn, or so a few of you also had questions, right? You do ask, maybe you message or in the class you ask, okay, what will I do? What if I miss the class? What will I know about this topic? Like this, there are so many questions that come up. Why do we ask that? Because we have to know the aim. Okay, after doing this, what will I get? So this is not against selfishness, but then whenever we are doing something, we should know the reason for that, right? Okay, I'm doing this. What is the reason for this? Is there something, some purpose has to be there. It's not that I'm just wasting my time. Okay, I have nothing to do. Okay, I'll just sit and listen, and for some time I'll just go out and come. For 1 hour I'll log in and see, I'll listen and come back. It doesn't happen that way. There is some aim, there is some goal that has to be there. So Patanjali Muni also experienced this, he felt this, and that's the reason he writes this aim of yoga first. Like after doing yoga, what exactly is the purpose of doing yoga? What exactly it wishes to achieve? That is the aim of yoga. Sadhana padaha. Now you know the aim. Now what is next? Means. What are the different ways of attaining that? The means to realize. Now I have told you, okay, this is what you have to do. Next I have to tell you how to reach there, right? So therefore you see, even Patanjali Muni has written everything in a systematic way. He has not just put, okay, this is the aims, now you do what you want. It's not like that. Next he mentions the sadhana padaha. Sadhana is the instruments or the means through which you can realize, to reach those targets. Vibhuti padaha. Finally you attain that. And Kaivalya padaha, liberation, moksha, the last stage. So the Patanjali Muni has put 4 steps: Samadhi padaha, Sadhana padaha, Vibhuti padaha, Kaivalya padaha. These are 4 parts in which the entire text has been divided. Now the person who has some physical or mental illness, they should also practice this text. Now it's not only limited for those with illnesses, but then just for those who have these illnesses, if you join, mainly if you practice this yoga, if you study Patanjali Muni's Yogashastram, now mainly in those times, now why here this line has been mentioned, let me tell you. In those times when people, now today if you have some illness or so, immediately we can go and approach a doctor, right? You go and tell them something, they will immediately, come here, I'll align you some medicines, you eat this, you'll be fine. In those times it used to not be like that. Like first of all, getting a doctor used to be not very feasible. So then people used to like all these texts, or maybe you have those what Vaidyashalas and so on, right? Vaidyashalas, household, some you can say small doctors, or those who have studied a bit of Ayurveda, or maybe some elderly people in the family, they will tell us something because they know some remedies also. So maybe like if someone gets hurt, they tell us, you apply some turmeric or so. So who told us all this? It's not that they have studied something in detail, but then through all this what we get to know is that somewhere something they have studied, and that's what they are sharing. So Patanjali Muni, in those times, people when they used to get ill in ancient times, always people used to have this Yoga Sutra book in their houses. So if there is some illness also, like sometimes for certain asanas, you see even now those who attend these yoga sessions, you'll know, if you practice certain asanas, they will tell you, okay, this will relieve stress, this will relieve back pain, this will relieve headache. I'm sure all of you would have experienced this, right? Some headache or some back pain, something. Yes. So like
true.
this,
Very
yes.
true, yeah.
So certain asanas. Now in general we do yoga, that is good. But then for certain diseases also, if we do, it is good. This is what is usually being told, maybe for a back pain or for stress or something like that. So like this, people in those times, they used to have the Yoga Sutra book at their houses. And those times, why it was an advantage is that people could read Sanskrit. People had knowledge about Sanskrit. At the same time, they had studied these texts. So therefore, immediately some problem used to come in. They could immediately open the book, browse through that, depending on the disorder. They could find a cure, maybe doing this asana or practicing this kind of meditation or something. But we have all this, what do you call, acupressure, right? Nowadays, acupressure. Though acupressure is not a part of yoga, some people would have gone through that acupressure. Some certain points in the body you press, it relieves pain in some other part. So that is also a science in itself. When you sit and wonder about all this, you feel like, wow, this is something which is beyond. Maybe we don't feel very, maybe the first step is you go to a doctor and take a medicine, but then these are also treatments that are there, which maybe it is not very much known also, but still that is also science in itself, and there are people who have experienced good results also. So that is the reason it is mentioned here. People who have this book, they are also free from all this physical and mental illnesses. Reason being, they don't have to go and approach a doctor. Immediately they open the book, they have the cure for themselves. And mainly to concentrate our mind, to not bring in thoughts, at least for that particular time. That is the ultimate goal of Yoga Shastra. That is, the term is Yogashchitta vritti nirodha. At least for that, maybe for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever you attend yoga, at least for that time, your mind is at peace. You don't have to bring in. Now, whenever you say material world, material objects, let me make one thing very clear. It doesn't mean now, so nobody is telling you to be free from your material life, so that you give up your family. Like some people will argue, if they don't interpret it right way, they'll say what it means. Should I give up my family then? Should I give up this material world then? It is not like that. It is just that at least for that particular time. Now here, if we are about 70 or so, there is no one here who says that my life is only full of joys, not even a single sorrow till date, right? In fact, sorrows will be more than happiness. Or in fact, our way of looking is also like that. You talk to people are conversing, when the topic of problems come, you see how both of them will talk, or even amongst us, including myself also. If I have to tell you about my life problems, I can tell you my essay. You know what happened? Everyone cheated me. This happened, that, this, everything. Something good happens. If I tell you, okay, all of you from last 5 years, you tell me what good happened to you. All of us will tell, but it will take some time. That is what bad happened to you. Immediately we'll have a list of 10 things, right? This is human nature. It's not that someone is wrong or so, but this is human nature, because negative things or evil things that come in, it immediately, we remember that for lifelong, and it immediately hurts us, saying that yes, this happened with me also. Someone tells you their problem, you see, some people have this habit. Someone is saying, no, this happened with me. They'll say, yes, this has happened with me also, and you know how I went through that. They will start their own story. Whereas some good things happen, it becomes very difficult to share. It's not that we don't share, but then always the problems are shared on the higher side, right? So therefore, at least for that particular time, so there is, the conclusion is everyone is full of worries, some of the other problems are there, but at least for that limited time, you're free from all that. So that is material objects, material life, and so on. The same thing has been mentioned. At the same time, yoga does not restrict you from any kind of object. That's the reason when you practice yoga, nobody will tell you don't eat this, don't eat that. There are no diet restrictions, nothing. And there is nothing you need also, right, to do yoga. You have to do it on the floor, you can do it anywhere, wherever you want. It just controls your mind to not get addicted towards things. Addicted towards things is to have a control on your mind. You go to the market, you see 4 clothes, you already have 100 clothes, but still all the 4 clothes you like, all 4 you bring. Instead of that, it is like, okay, 4 clothes are there, I need one, let me pick out one. So I'm just giving you an example. So mainly yoga tries to put a control on our mind, saying that whatever is needed, that you do, remaining there should be a control, because later that will only cause me trouble. Then at the same time, all our emotions, instability that is there, all that will also be under control. We'll be able to identify our own self. Self is nothing but our inner mind. I told you the importance of our inner body. Swarupe Vasthanam. Now these terms are used in the Yogashastram only. That's the reason why I have included here. Okay, next. Now some important concepts. The Yoga Sutra, if you study in detail, Yogashastram, it is very big. We are just going to look at the gist of all topics. So a few important concepts. Tapaha. One is tapaha. Tapaha. Now tapas or tapa, when you see, for us it is going to the forest, standing on 1 feet, raising our hands up like all those asuras, devas do. It's not like that. Tapaha literally means something which is done to burn down impurities. If you see, burn down impurities, and it can be to anything. Now basically, why do people do tapas? They are free from everything. They will not concentrate on anything else. They'll just stand in 1 foot or whatever it is. They just have their full focus on their body and so on. So mainly tapas is to get blessings in the right way. So then the respective deities come and they bless and so on. So say for example, now all of us also, if you are attending these Sunday lectures, it is your tapaha. Tapaha is, I'm putting in some efforts, I'm doing something good. You're investing your time in doing something good. Or in my case, now if there is one thing I have to speak today on Yogashastram, maybe yesterday I would have put in some efforts to know about Yogashastram. Little maybe I would have read so that I can tell you in today's class. So this is my tapaha. So tapaha, it doesn't mean that only something great we have to do, maybe stand in the forest on 1 leg and so on. Though that is associated with tapas commonly, tapaha literally means something which is done to burn down impurities. It literally means to use our time in doing positive things to bring about positive results. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya. Now practicing only yoga alone is not enough. Now that is the reason why in all our culture or in everyday life, if you see, we always have interdisciplinary. We have something called interdisciplinary, right? Nowadays you have this, or in schools you have school children nowadays say extracurricular. What is extracurricular? That means along with studies you have some sports or drawing, craft, swimming, something. So they say, or all-round development. What is all-round development? You go to school, the school. Now whenever we say school, common thing is okay, for studies you go to school. But there are many other activities also that are done in school which are also very much important, right? So Yogashastram or all our philosophies also believe in the same lines. They say, okay, Yogashastram you study, that is fine. But study of other concepts are also equally important to understand this topic properly. That is Swadhyaya, Swayam Adhyaya, Adhyayanam. Just little from my side, I should put in efforts to study a few concepts from the Vedas, Vedangas, few treatises based on Yoga Sutras and so on. So knowledge is very, very important. Now, the very simple example, if I am telling you about Yoga Shastram, all of you, at least 5% of you should feel okay. I know now what exactly is Yoga Shastram, I've got to know. Who is Patanjali, I got to know. Patanjali's 3 texts have been mentioned. Yogashastram, Yoga Darshanam, Charaka Samhita, Mahabhashyam. Why not let me go and little search about this? What is that? Let me know. So this is how knowledge increases. So this is Swadhyaya. Next is Bhakti.
Ma'am,
Yes.
in the sometime back you had mentioned about what Patanjali mentioned as the aim of yoga from his perspective. Could you please repeat that? I couldn't catch it.
Yeah, aim of yoga according to Patanjali, the last aim is salvation or moksha. Initially he says to attain mental peace. In our everyday lives now, nobody can wait for moksha, right, or liberation. For us to attain mental peace, that is the aim, main thing. Okay? Yeah. Okay, now the next stage is Bhakti. Bhakti or Ishvara Pranidhanam. Now in Bhakti you have the concept of Ishvara that comes in. Now but then surrendering is also a part of Bhakti. Now let me make one thing clear. Though Bhakti is always associated with Ishvara or God, we feel that Bhakti always means chanting the names of the Lord, offering flowers, going to temples. This is one way of Bhakti. But now if I am speaking on Yoga Shastram, if I have studied, if I have put in some efforts to tell all of you, this is my Bhakti, right? I have put in some efforts, I have dedicated. For all of you who are listening to this dedicatedly for 1 hour, on a Sunday morning, maybe if you want, you can do anything that you like, or maybe people from outside also you have joined in, time zone is different. This is your Bhakti. That means you are putting in some efforts. And here, this is one way of Bhakti. So that's why we say, work devotedly, work religiously. Why do we use these terms? There is no concept of religion there. Why do we say work religiously? It means put in 100% efforts. Don't do anything. Don't do anything else at that time. This is Bhakti. So yoga also, one day I'll do yoga, next 10 days I'll eat and sleep nicely, and the 11th day I'll get up and do. This is not needed. Patanjali says Bhakti is also very well. That is every day little, we have to be consistent. One day you do, 2 days you don't do, then it's of no use. Consistency is very, very important. So though Bhakti is commonly associated with religion, God and so on, whatever we do with 100% efforts and focus, that is Bhakti. So whatever we do, it is not limited to religion alone. Whatever we do, there has to be 100%. Otherwise, it's of no use, right? At the same time, another aspect of Bhakti is surrender, wherein we give up on ego. It is okay. Someone in front of me is standing. He knows something more than me. Why should I not surrender? Surrender is I don't give up. We need not have to go and say, okay, I don't know anything. You only know everything. You only speak. It's not like that. Just to be humble and say, okay, there is someone who has come. He knows something better than me. Let him speak, I will learn that. Let me take it as a learning experience. But most of us, we don't do that, right? Including all of us. It's very easy for us to speak. I know, I will tell you. But it's very difficult to listen, right? What he knows, I know more than him. We say these things, right? So in Bhakti, one is even surrendering or maybe giving the opposite person a chance to speak. Give up on our ego and say that, okay, he knows something, let him speak. Maybe I know that already, but at least he is knowing something, let him speak, I will listen to him. So this is a part of surrender. Surrender doesn't mean always to give up. Even in our everyday lives also, maybe one day what you do, very simple everyday example I give you, you have some rice. Night you have little rice that is left. You are 2 of you, maybe the other person is hungry. You know, he doesn't come and tell you directly, but you know, okay, he has come maybe from travel or so, he is very hungry. Maybe you have rice, but maybe you take a little quantity, more quantity you give it to the person, right? The person also in his hunger, he forgets to ask you, did you have your fill? Whatever you give him, he eats. This is also surrender, right? You are also hungry, but then you felt at that time that no, the opposite person needs it more, so we give that person more. I consume little less, it's fine. One day I need little less, it's okay. I was at home only. This is also surrender. This is also a form of bhakti. So this is another aspect to bhakti. In case of Yoga Shastra, being consistent, that is putting in efforts continuously, only then the results will be achieved. This is mentioned by Patanjali. Okay. So today time is up. Little bit part of Yoga Shastram is still remaining. We will look at that on next Sunday. For today we will stop it.